What's going on, everybody? So today I have a little bit of time to work on the bike again. I'm going to focus on lowering the front end with the stock suspension. I haven't been able to find a donor for a realistic price, like whether it be a Gixxer or an R6 or even a CBR front end. I've just been finding bits and pieces of them, but I want a complete front end with like the brakes, the rotors, the tires, the triples, everything on there. Just so I can make this a very easy swap for myself, but no luck so far. So I don't want to slow the build down. I can use the suspension setup I have now. So before I get started, is this the Yamaha Virago 920 came with a air suspension, so it's got all this stuff here where you can actually fill the shocks with air. I don't know if it still works because I have moved these down and there's a little tiny pinhole that I guess where oil would be fed as well, and it keeps the air in, but it didn't, make any noises when I exposed it. So I'm assuming it's completely empty, and if it is, then I've ridden the bike already, and honestly I didn't notice any difference. So I'm probably just gonna ride it the way it is, assuming that the air suspension stuff doesn't work. I'll take it off, and so that I'll have like about an inch reveal, so it'll drop it about an inch hopefully. I'm just gonna go ahead and loosen all this stuff and remove the triple so I can get to taking off the air feed or oil feed, whatever. So you can see right here, this looks like just a regular, this right here is just like a regular air tire thing, valve stem. You pump it with air. I don't think it works, like I said, so I'm just gonna go ahead and remove that, and then I'll be able to lower all this shit. As you can see, this is what it looks like on the inside. So there's tiny little holes here that I think feed the oil or the air or something. I gotta lower this part on the, I need to loosen these bolts to lower the front end, I think. So I don't want the whole thing to drop on me, so I'm just going to loosen it little by little. Alright, actually it wasn't too bad. So I'm basically going to loosen this side, and I'll come back to it once it's done. So I've gone ahead and lowered it. So as you can see, the top of the forks now, the fork tubes are sticking up past the triple, the top triple. I took it down exactly 2 inches and 1/8. You can kind of see that it actually sits a little bit more straight now, as where before it definitely pointed up more towards the sky in the front end. So that 2-inch drop and 1/8 made it look a little cleaner. I'm going to work on the tank now. I'm going to mark off where I want the new brackets that I'm thinking of creating to secure the front end of this tank here. And then I'm going to take it off and finish up the rest here. So I got a package in the mail this week. I think I know exactly what it is. So there it is. So these are the petcocks I need for the new tank. So there's a reserve side and the main side. I think This looks like a built-in fuel filter. So I think this goes into the tank, I believe. And then this side, I'm going to have to find some sort of fitting or whatnot so I can actually run the gas lines down. I'll probably keep both open. I'm not going to run it as a reserve or whatever. And I'll just put both gas tanks teed into one single tee that'll go into the original gas line for the original tank, so I don't have to mess with it too much. I need to find something to thread on the nipple onto here that I can attach the gas line to. On the bottom of the tank, there are these two holes here where if I can find some bolts to thread into them, I'll basically put some brackets here and weld them onto the frame, and then just using a bolt to go through the little bracket I'm going to put onto here, thread into there, and then the front of the tank is going to be secured. Turns out I don't have any bolts to go into this. I do have these, but they're not the right thread. Everything I'm working with is metric, and I'm assuming this tank is imperial considering it's a British manufacturer. So I'm going to test out the petcocks and see if these actually fit in there. So, like a little plastic tubing on it. I think these just screw into this. So I imagine these just screw into here and they should hopefully work. Money. So I know I need to put some threading on here, or like some sort of Teflon tape. Money. Okay, so they work. So we're going to install the other one. I haven't tested this tank, I just took the word of the guy who sold it to me that it was good and didn't leak. So I'm really hoping I'm not doing all this work for nothing. Okay, perfect. I found out that this part of the harness actually interferes right where the petcock is going to be, so I need to rewire, or rather just move everything to come up here basically. Okay, so I've relocated a lot of this and rerouted it. I'm going to leave this battery stuff here because I don't know if it's worth extending right now or where this really is going to land at the end of the day. Everything else is rerouted. I ran the main harness up and under the subframe. So, the new petcocks are on the tank. Clears it, so that's good. On the other side here, also, but like I said, the harness is in the way here. So I gotta figure out how to keep it free and clear. Might actually be alright if I just leave it there. So there's no space to tuck it. There's no space under this tank to tuck the harness into, and it's not long enough to go over the middle of the frame, unfortunately, so I might just have to leave this one open. Hopefully that is open position. Oh, it just clears. So hopefully that's the open position. I can just leave it open all the time and then just hide it there, and it's kind of messy and I don't like it, but I don't really feel like soldering and extending every single wire. It's not really worth it in my opinion, so I'll figure out what I can do with this and maybe try to hide it a little better. For now it's alright. The battery relocation is going to happen. I still haven't picked up the battery. If based on the measurement, I think it'll fit right in this cavity here, which would be ideal. So I can just weld it or build a bracket to fit under there. Otherwise, my other option is to put it under all this stuff where the center kickstand used to be, but I'm afraid it'll get too hot with the stock exhaust. Before I go and start taking this exhaust off, I might actually just leave it where it's at, and I'll cut these ugly tips off, and then I'll just put some more straighter looking ones on there instead of these things, because they're pretty ugly. I think doing the exhaust like I wanted to do just might be above my skill level and just take too much time. So the forks are lowered, like I said here, like I did earlier. So you can kind of see it. They stick up a bit now. So it's a little better, looks lower. So I think that's all for today. Thanks for watching.